So in the world of interior design, there are the good, there are the bad, and there are the really ugly. If we're being honest, I have to say it. I know I've done a bunch of videos on impractical interior designs, things that look great, that really don't work in a home, or they really don't function really well as how you live in a space. But these are my Design ICKS. And when I say they're my Design ICKS, they are an absolute deal breaker. If you have these, it is a big no. And I know this is gonna be a super controversial topic. If you have any of these, if you like any of these, I may lose some followers on this, but if we're being honest, these are the items that I will have a visceral reaction to in your home. I am a terrible liar. I cannot hide anything with my face. It gives it away. I'll be that one person that's being there that's like, you can zoom in on it, but it's a no. It is a big no. So, like I said, these are the Design ICKS. These are my top 10. Like these are a no, just no. So let's see if you pass the test. I always get so many comments about people that actually like these things. So remember, this is my practical disclaimer. If you like them, great. I think they're ugly, and you should too. And this is going to be my video convincing you why they're ugly, why they're bad, why you shouldn't have them, and why they need to be replaced. Please go cry to somebody else because your daddy is not having it. Go talk to your mother. Your father doesn't want to hear it. First on the list, which is probably the worst of all of them, is word art. And I'm talking about any kind of word art, not just those inspirational quotes that are put on, but the actual single words. Live, Laugh, Love had its moment, and it is an absolute disaster. But I'm talking about a sign that says kitchen in your kitchen, a sign that says eat in your kitchen, or a sign that says well fed. Like, are you kidding me? This is the last thing you want in any house. The amount of real estate videos I see on TikTok and Instagram that have these garbage, and I say garbage because it's not even art. Art is the production and appreciation of an object or an action done by an individual or a group having heightened aesthetic value, meaning beautiful and significant form. That is the Webster's Dictionary of Art. And honestly, these items cannot be appreciated. They don't give any value to your home. They don't give any value to your space. And they really look like absolute garbage. If I go into a home and I'm reading something on a wall, whether it be an inspirational quote or a single word or we poop here in the bathroom, like, oh my God. It bothers me to no end. And I know any other interior designer will say the same. You may like these. I hate them. Like, I hate this with an absolute passion. They need to be burned. And I love a good HomeSense trip. Do not get me wrong. I love a good deal on off-cut marble, trays, bowls, whatever. But this is how it started. Rae Dunn started all of this. So I feel like she needs to be the culprit of this. She needs to be fined because she is making so much money off so many people buying these absolute garbage word art pieces in this whimsical like script and putting it on their home. I feel like I could literally talk all day about just this, but let's move on because that one is the ultimate culprit. And it is immediate jail time for me with no chance of parole. These people need to be studied because they are wild. Unless you are teaching your children how to read, that is the only time I could ever see like, you know, plates having like a word on it. Otherwise, no. Big, big no. While we're on the topic of word art, this kind of categorizes within it, but it is another big ick for me. It is decal art. And when I say decal art, I'm not talking about like beautiful like murals or wallpaper pieces. I'm talking about that really shitty plastic vinyl that you buy on a roll and you're literally putting it up on a wall. It is a sticker, people. There is no artistic merit that brings any addition to your home and your space by putting a sticker on the wall. Even more so, I see so many people that get these decals and you know what they are? They're a Chanel logo. They're a Louis Vuitton logo. They're a weird like spiral thing that they just put up to add something on the wall. It adds nothing to your space, people. Stickers do not do it. These are just large format stickers. that are put onto your space. And because that glue is so shitty on these, depending on the humidity level and the heat in your space, they literally peel right off. I would actually appreciate more if you painted something on the wall yourself, or put up your child's art piece, or even like some kind of vintage frame you bought at a yard sale. This is not doing anything for you, and it never will do anything for you. This is another really bad culprit. The fact that I see so many real estate agents also hire stagers that add these to the walls for decor. Ugh. If I walk into an open house and I see that, I am immediately done, because that's just no. So this one is gonna get a lot of hate because it is so widely loved, but it is those geometric accent walls. I'm gonna give this a moment of silence because I know there's people running to the comments right now to be like, I love mine, it's so good, it really adds a focal point to a space. No, if you really wanted to create a focal point in the space, probably watched my videos and I've talked about how to do that. You draw the attention in and it keeps your focus. These geometric patterns look so out of place in your home, whether it is a traditional home, a brutalist home, a contemporary home. This just doesn't work with any interior design style. I find it so out of place. Even if you commit to adding those accent LEDs under those to really bring attention to it, it's not doing anything for you. It collects so much dust, and I find that because it's so commercial looking, it doesn't work in your home. You end up getting sick of this in no time. If you happen to have one of these geometric things, I think it really looks good in, hospitality or commercial spaces that it feels like you're not looking at it all the time. If you're drawing attention in your home to something that is so dramatically different from the rest of the style, this is why you get design fatigue. I may have to do a video about design fatigue in general because it's not as widely talked about, but when you are constantly stimulated by a design, a color, a feature, or a shape, if it is constantly brought to your vision and you see it all the time, you get sick of it. And with how much money some of these cost, I mean, granted, a lot of people end up DIYing it themselves and it looks, not so great, looks pretty janky in my opinion. It's not going to work in your space. This is another big one where I see it, I'm just like, why? You would have been better off literally just painting the wall as an accent color and it would have been better. And you know what? It's easier because you can change it up with paint at any point and still turn into an accent wall that is a nice feature in your home. You're not committing to adding these like stripes and diagonal lines and curves on a wall that don't do anything for the rest of your home. I'm gonna get so much hate because all these are bad. But the next one, excessive amounts of plants. Once again, I'm gonna give you a moment here so you can type all your nasty, hateful things in the comments. But there is a tasteful way of adding plants into your home, and it can be done so beautifully. They are really meant to be an accent to help appreciate the style of your home and help fill in those dead spaces. If you're turning your entire living room, bedroom, foyer, or any room into your house into a greenhouse of plants on the walls, on the floor, hanging from the ceiling. These images that we're gonna put up show you exactly the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like a cluster of like 4 or 5 in a corner. I'm talking about committing to the entire room. There is an ongoing gay joke that you can always tell the position of a gay man if you walk into their home and by the number of plants they have. Probably gonna get hate for saying that joke too, but if you know, you know. The other big reason that I am so against having so many excessive plants in your home is the humidity level gets out of control in your home. A house is specifically designed to have a lower amount of humidity or a higher amount of humidity that still ranges. If you have that many plants and that much water and soil in your space, it ends up deteriorating your home over time. I know it's gonna take a while and someone's gonna be like, it's not gonna happen. It will. Black mold is a huge thing in homes. It is a major issue a lot of people do not consider or even recognize or realize. But if you have all those plants, your humidity levels are higher. And guess what everything else in your space is? Dry. What do you think drywall is? It's dry. It's meant to be dry for a reason. So please take that into consideration. We are not having greenhouses in our house. Please, if you have a greenhouse, I know that's only for the wealthy, But that's where you have those plants. Have beautifully accented plants throughout your home that really help appreciate the design style and add to it instead of taking away. Because, I mean, if you want to live in a jungle, by all means, but it's not for the inside of your house. Next on the list is excessive window treatments and window valances. This is going to be a short one because it's pretty self-explanatory, but these images perfectly articulate the excessive draping that was like, honestly, in my opinion, it looks medieval because the only houses that have these styles that actually add to it are castles, manors, mansions. Like, your interior home does not need more fabric around your window than you have on your bed. You can quote me on that. Because if we're being honest, window treatments are so excessively expensive. You're buying by the yard, especially if you do custom fabrics and styles. But this is like, if you're spending a mortgage payment on just dressing up one window, you have a major issue. And in my opinion, curtains are such a traditional style. And in my opinion, once again, they don't really work with every interior design style. They pigeonhole you into a very specific look. And in truth be told, there aren't many window treatments that actually look good. Most of the time they're pretty ugly. And at the bottom of the list are curtains. I'm probably gonna get hate for this because I know you need privacy. I'm just not a fan of them. Probably should have put this one higher on the list because it is a pretty bad one. It is gray floors and gray cabinets. But if we're being honest, it's gray in excess. I know you probably saw my home tour and you see the gray floors, you see the gray cabinets. This is why I have a personal vendetta. The early 2000s and gray, oh my God. Like, gray was winning awards left, right, and center. It was the color of the year for so many paint brands for years. Every single flipper on this planet was like, I'm gonna flip this home. And you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be gray. We're gonna have gray walls. We're gonna have gray floors. We're gonna have gray cabinets. We're gonna have gray window treatments. I live in Canada. We have 8, if we're being lucky, 8 months of the year that are cold and dreary. And you know what? Gray. I do not need to add more gray into my home for it to feel cold and uninviting and unwelcoming. I need a level of warmth that makes a house feel cozy. You want to actually be home. If you have all of these excessive gray accents everywhere, the other big issue with gray is that it has an undertone of pink or green, or sometimes both of those. And a big issue with that is that it's so challenging to find accent colors that work with gray. You know what works with gray? White and more gray. You can rarely bring in any other colors that really work well to complement it to make your space feel great. Like, gray is such a depressing color. And for that reason, it is on my design ick. If I walk in to a home and I see all these gray features, I'm out. I'm like, that's so much work to replace all these things. I'm done. Do you want to look like you work in a corporate office? Because that's what it's giving. It's not giving home. This is another really big design ick. And it's not necessarily a design feature, but so the act of design. My biggest pet peeve with designers, clients alike are the excessive gloating of the cost of certain items and certain styles.
You look broke ass.
I can appreciate a multi-million-dollar home that is so excessively designed and expensive. But at the same time, if someone is taking me through a tour, they're like, oh, this chair was $20,000. This rug was $10,000. These window treatments and the doors and windows of this house cost me $4 million. I immediately hate it, and I have a serious dislike for you. The amount of times that I have seen TikTokers and influencers that go and brag about certain design styles and how much things cost gives me honestly the biggest ick of any interior design style out there or feature. Like, I would put this above word art. There is no reason, absolutely no reason that you need to brag and gloat about how much money and how expensive things are that you're putting in your house to make someone else feel bad. Like, in my opinion, what is the point of showing off these beautiful items and telling them that this is $10,000? You're gonna make them feel like shit. Like that's such a shitty and unbelievably inhuman way to make someone feel and react if you're showing them your house. I want to be able to appreciate your home. Money is a monetary value that does not equal taste. And I've talked about this so many times before, that kind of old world money style and that new money. If you are constantly like talking about how much money you're spending, you're a terrible person. Like there's no way that people actually like you and like spending time with you. And I think that really goes hand in hand with like sharing how your space is designed. You shouldn't be talking about money and how things are costing to make yourself feel better and how much you're spending compared to someone else. Do better, people. Be a nice person. You're not a nice person if you're doing this. I know I've talked about impractical designs before, but I know this is just like my design ick. These are the ones that are an absolute no. And I will fight you on it. I'd like to think I'm a pretty strong person, so I'll probably win. Then again, everyone has different interior design styles and everyone has different taste. But these add literally no value to you, no value to your home, no value to your home style. And if I come into your house, I'm going to leave. I'm going to be like, no, not that. Why? Why did you spend money on this absolute garbage? It is worth more in the dump than it is in your home. And I know I'm going to get hate for this because these are my like personal design icks that are just like, I cannot handle. I do not like them. I will never like them, and you cannot convince me otherwise. That being said, that's all for today's video. If you liked it, please let me know because I could probably do another one of these and I could tell you the hard passes on all of these design items. But make sure you like this video and don't forget to subscribe. And if you haven't already, you can follow me on all my socials at Mr. Phoenix Gray. And if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do? Not have these items. Okay? I'm telling you. Daddy said so.